All right, we got some NFL news, man. So the Ravens have released CJ Gardner-Johnson from the practice squad. And this is what the article had to say. But before we get into the article, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, so you can help the channel grow. I appreciate you. So the Ravens have released safety CJ Gardner-Johnson from their practice squad 1 week after signing him. If you know, the Ravens have been dealing with a bunch of injuries, especially in that secondary. Kyle Hamilton's been out. I think some corners have been out as well. So they brought in some guys. They brought in some guys on the practice squad. So Baltimore signed Gardner-Johnson before trading for safety Alohi Gilman. I hope I'm saying that correctly. Who made 7 tackles and played 73% of the Ravens' defensive snaps in his debut Sunday against the LA Rams. With Gilman on board, Baltimore didn't have a clear path to playing time for Gardner-Johnson, and it was an amicable mutual decision to part ways, according to his agent, Kevin Connor, per ESPN's Adam Schefter. So it looks like pretty much maybe he just got beat out. He just got beat out when they brought in Gilman. If I'm not mistaken, Gilman was Kyle Hamilton's teammate at Notre Dame's, whatever. I think Kyle is a strong safety. Maybe Gilman was a free safety at Notre Dame. I believe they were teammates. And this was the tweet that, or post, I should say now, that is X, that CJ put out. He says at 4:45, October 14th. So this was today. I just want to take a moment to thank all my teams I've been a part of, coaches, teammates, and everyone who's supported me along the way. Every experience has helped me grow both on and off the field. I'm truly grateful for all the opportunities and memories football has always, he says, show more. I'm not going to click on that. So he's just, showing love to everybody along his path. Now, like the text said, or the article said, here we go, CJ Gardner-Johnson. Basically, his agent thought he was going to get more playing time. Maybe he was going to get inserted right away, of course, due to all these injuries. And, CJ Gardner-Johnson, he's not a household name, I should say. I don't think like the most casualist, I'm making a words, fan would know him. But if you watch football, you know who CJ Gardner-Johnson is, right? Was on that Philly team this past season. Not this past season, last year, Super Bowl champ. Was with the Lions for 1 year, then went back to Philly, which was last year. Before that, tied for leading the league in picks, if I'm not mistaken, with 6. And then, of course, if you remember him with the Saints, so he's not a, lesser known player. He's more so, who he is. He's made a name for himself in this league. And I don't think this move right here, people may raise their eyebrows like, man, what's going on with CJ? I don't think this, departure, like they said, it was amicable mutual decision. I'm stumbling over my words. So I don't think this was, anything to, really blow over about. But I would say when he was released from the Texans, now I'm a Texans fan. So when he was released from the Texans, that kind of raised some eyebrows, right? Because he was traded, the Texans traded for him during the offseason. They traded for him. They gave up Kenyon Green, who's a former first-round pick that the Texans took a couple of years ago. I believe in that Derek Stingley draft. It was him and Kenyon Green taken in that first round. So they exchanged him, and 2 picks were exchanged as well. So that's the one that kind of raised my eyebrow, because if you saw the press conference when DeMeco Ryan, head coach of the Texans, addressed it, he basically was like, man, I'm not going to go into detail. He just thought that the move to release CJ Gardner-Johnson was the best for the team. So obviously, if we were to speculate, probably some friction there, because you don't just go trade for a guy and then just release him when he's going to be, play a big role on the defensive side, especially when if you're looking at D'Amico Ryan. He's a defensive guy. Like his defense are always stout. Just look at the Texans this year. One of the best defenses in the league. So that's more something to raise your eyebrows about. But this one, I don't think so. So moving forward, I'm sure I don't think this is the last we hear from CJ Gardner-Johnson. Like I believe he has more left in the tank, but it just didn't work out with the Ravens. Probably thought that, he was going to get inserted right away, and that just wasn't the case. So he's probably going to be looking forward to, maybe even this season hopping on with another team, seeing if, maybe if guys are banged up, teams are banged up, they're looking for some depth or a guy to step in right away. He more than likely, especially, at safety, he more than likely will get that. Probably one of the first guys that people call to, step into that role. So those are my thoughts in the comments. Let me know yours.
On his memory here at Rocker Park. At his theme. Somebody leave the basket. We're going to see him on the Fargo post. Snacks. Tell me yesterday, HBC.
Man, once again, man, I appreciate you having me, man. And congrats, man, on the platform. And I say keep it going. Keep doing your thing.